What is going on? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We got the double intro action. We're playing some Obi Yellow. Some good old shenanigans. Obi 2 Yellow Force. I'm on the journey to continue to find just fun budget decks that are great for locals. Maybe take it to your showdown. Not quite regional level, but it is pretty good. We are doing pretty good. But starting it off, playing into the Maul 2 Blue. That deck is actually kind of annoying. It is sneaky, used to force deals damage. So you got Ogdo Bogdo, things like that to provide synergy or any other like grit and shenanigans for their side. It's kind of similar to the Pilot Ventress, where it just does damage. But we're going to play down the little youngling, get the force with us. The biggest difference to this and Obi Blue is, I would say, the consistency. Blue is just a little bit more of a consistent, force generator with that planet base. There you go, base. The 25 HP rare base. And I think we're going to starting it off with just kind of going over the plays. We're going to waylay them to put them on the back foot. We want to have as much value as possible. Then making that 3-4, getting the force back immediately, resourcing the Luke. Constructing this deck, I wanted to have as many options to deal with space. And so there is a small space package here. And it seems to be working pretty well. I enjoy it a lot. It is a fun, very fun deck. We have the General's Blade here, so it does feel really good. We can slap that onto our youngling, and they don't have the force, so it's a free trade up for us. And we get the force right back with just a lot of value off the General's Blade. Again, gonna resource Luke. The best part of it is a pilot, and it is a force unit, so when our pilots do get blown up or we trade up with it, we're able to just put it back on the board, which is really nice. Playing down the Jedi and hiding, we've been keeping him off the force pretty consistently, and I think that's the biggest positive we have. It is hard. Like when you're playing a force deck and you just don't get the force at all, it just feels like you're just always on the back foot. And at this point, 21 HP on their base, 6, 7 left. We're cooking them. Like it is what it is. Like the amount of value we put down so quickly, and we're only on resource 6, and putting them at lethal with no possible way. There's no way they can out the board as wide as it is. That's kind of the nature of the force decks. Like when you're so force dependent for your interaction, it does become a detriment when you just continuously to get cleared. Rolling into game 2, playing into Han 1 Green. Now, Han 1 has been rising in popularity now that Force Throw is gone, sure. But in general, it has become a more rogue strategy using like the blue or red Force. This might be more of a traditional Han Green that we saw in the previous formats and previous sets. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because both are considered to be pretty rogue-ish strategies. Throwing down the Ezra 1 from earlier set, pretty good. It's a 4/5 with an experience token, so it is a card you want to answer. You don't want to leave alone too long. Did end up getting a hit with the Waylay, which is great. Waste of material on that as opposed to something that has Jedi's Blade just feels a little bit better for us. And then we had the experience token going down on the Obi Sentinel. It's good. And we got the Kira coming in. Something I don't really too much enjoy with Kira is, hand knowledge is fantastic in this game. But I had to open the chat to make sure. They declared Ezra. So not something like I care too much about. But we're going to go ahead and do the Gungi trade up. I thought the Hot Shot last year was a little weird. I personally would have waited until I either deployed Obi-Wan and, maybe force more damage onto there. But I think they are looking at trying to keep Ezra off the board as much as possible because it is a value card. It is a good value engine for this deck. Checking the resource, we do have a Timely in there, but we're going to actually just drop down that Ezra. We don't need it. There's no reason. Probably the best part about this deck is that you can play Hot Shot Blaster. And it is a sneaky way to win the game. Trading up over the Han, I think, is very important just because of the first strike aspect. It's just uber annoying. Now that we have the Kellen Beck, it's going to be awesome. We're in a really healthy spot here. I think, yeah, we're going to pop the experience token on our little Jedi robot boy just to kind of force out actions to see what they're going to play. They play their Ewing reinforcement into their own Kellenbeck and brings out a Tech. Tech is a fantastic card in Han 1. Han 1 can just utilize it the best. Like, oh, I don't need this right now. I'll pop an older resource. Okay, I have Tech, so I'm not really going to lose out on something. But we need to trade the Tech up, get it off the board as fast as possible. We're going to drop our own Kellenbeck. And right now we're playing, I hope they don't have a Hot Shot Blaster. Because on how unfortunate that would be, he would put us at 2027. But we do have the Yoda, we have to do it. Gonna heal pop. The most insane synergy with Yoda and Obi-Wan is I can get 2 Yoda pops a turn if I played tonight with that this turn. So I'll be able to get the heal, pop a card, and then do attack with a Force unit. Then I'll just get the Force again, use Obi's ability, give it experience. Yeah, it just feels great. So we're going to give the experience token to Gungi because we want to be able to trade up into the ships. We don't lose the value. And then we ended up using the Force, so Yoda just pops the Millennium Falcon. At this point, 1 resource on hand, no Han ability. We're feeling really good. No need to resource. We've got the Yoda if we need to heal again. It just feels where we're at in this point of the game is fantastic. And obviously, like, this isn't the most competitive deck in the world, so it is very curve dependent, and you got to see the correct thing. So let's just keep people off of the ability. We're going to go ahead and pop that Millennium Falcon, giving an experience token Kellen back, using Yoda. Synergy's insane. So fun. They ended up forfeiting there. It was an end of the game. Going into the next game, we are playing into some aggressive Space Rush. Now, with them on the ECL base, being able to they can pump a lot of damage really fast. With being able to deploy your unit for 1 resource on the second turn, pretty obnoxious. But, you know, we got the Waylay, and we ended up mulliganing. I think this was a mistake to mulligan that. I was aiming to have a better curve, and ended up actually just not having the right thing I wanted. Should have held for the regular 2 costs and kept the Waylay. That would have gave them, because I could just return to hand whatever they put the Poe on, which is the move. So we just immediately go the experience token onto the Jedi Youngling. We ended up getting the Waylay, which is nice. So we're going to put down the Jedi Counselor. And they got the Poe. Speaking of it, we're just going to waylay that away, put them on the back foot, force them to play it again, and then we'll get the free 3 damage, get the Force back with us. I'm going to resource General's Blade. At this point, I don't know if we're going to be able to actually stick it because we're going to have to play a little bit more defensive. Playing Ahsoka Tano, hopefully discard a unit so we get to exhaust and just put them on as little damage as possible is what we really want to see. So we're going to exhaust that unit. Feeling good. They're going to play A-Wing, and we're going to go swing another 3 at base. They got the R2-D2, so that A-Wing is going to be a monster. Resourcing another General's Blade. With this curve we really need to figure out how to ramp up the damage so that way we can just punish or get the Kellen back out early. Aim for that Yoda because that's the only real cross-zone spot removal this deck has aside from Waylay. Outside of sideboard, obviously, you know, we can play things like outmaneuver. There we go. Yeah, that was rough. Coming down and dealing the damage was obnoxious. So we're just to deploy the Obi, slap the Journal's Blade on that, being 6/9. We don't get the experience token buff, which is okay. Put him at 12. Let's just get another card sniped out of their hand with the Ahsoka Tano. This can be good for us. We can have Yoda on the next turn, which is great. Ended up, deciding to keep the restore Jedi just because if they were to play something, well, they Wrecker ECL, which is huge. And I think that might just secure them the win. If Obi would have stuck, we would have had the Yoda right now, which would have gave us the heal plus whatever. Get their nice little restore 2, put us back to 19. They have enough damage on board to end it, and we can come close, put them at 20, or we just play the Kellen, just be like, yep, silly. But the deck is fast. Poe, ECL, Wrecker coming down to save the day was phenomenal. They didn't need to smuggle. That was just kind of a BM. They could have just won the game, but it is what it is. Going on to game 3, you're playing into another off-ish meta. That's what the vibe was on Carabas today. We're playing some Krennic ECL. We already know they're going to be having those Anakin Skywalkers, both Darth Vaders. This deck is going to be restore, and spot removal. Like any blue shell villainy is, they're just aggressively annoying. I don't care. Force throw was a problem, sure. However, Power Dark Side, Mirage, every spot removal blue villainy has. Obnoxious. That is my rant. Welcome to my TED Talk. But, they got the Doctor down for the draw engine. Part of me always wants to clear it out early, but sometimes I feel like it's not super necessary. If that's all their start is, they just ramp up real quick, and they just have the Doctor for the draw. It doesn't feel like it's something I need to just get done right away. So we're going to drop the Ahsoka to exhaust the Doctor. Could have saved it for the Krennic, because the Restore 2 is big, but just what really didn't need it. Damage-wise on board, it's pretty heavy. We're good. Put him back to 11 with the Ahsoka hit. Gungi and the Jedi, they need to drop down some ECL or some ambush to really clear up the board to make it just more beneficial into their favor. But we're just going to keep poking. We're going to hit face. We're playing this like low to the ground, mid-range aggro. Going to swing this wide. It is dangerous. We are in territory of Super Laser Blast the following turn, which will be devastating swinging this wide. End up using Timely to clear off with some stuff, and then get an experience token on Krennic to heal him. Not too bad. Gonna swing with Obi, give experience token to Jedi Counselor. And we got ourselves a really solid position. We can Jedi Counselor into Kellen back for 5. I really don't know why they decided to trade into the Obi. Wasn't a Sentinel. They could have hit something else, but it is what it is. Now that we know that there's no Super Laser Blast, we can freely play and just really go aggressive with it. They have 6 resource left, so it feels really good. I don't want to clear their leader out because it doesn't feel important. We got the hot shot for game, and that is it right there. Hot shot over, and it's just phenomenal. All right, diving into the list, we got really low to the ground. So 3 Gungi, 3 Jedi Counselor, 2 Luke, 2 of the A-Wing Squadron, 3 the Jedi Youngling little guy. So a lot of turn 1 plays. I think that's the most important, to generate the Force as much as possible. The reason why we decided to play the 3 2 cost and space to start is just because, space is a problem. I don't always have the ability to trade up or trade on the other side. Going into our 3 cost, Blue Wing, Ezra, Jedi Droid, Obi, the Whip Girl. I forget her name. But anyways, they're all fantastic 3-drops. They're going to generate value. They're going to either slow the opponent down if they're playing into Rush. A 3-cost Sentinel that is a 3/5 that has the ability to become a 4/6. Really puts the brakes on Sabine. And then moving over into our 4 costs, we got the Ahsoka and then the Jedi Guardian, the Ambush Restore. It's just another way to generate force, and as a 2/4. It just feels good. In space, we got the Space Sentinel, and it just feels like a lot of value there. And obviously, Yoda, Kellen Beck for our top ends. Upgrades, we're playing Hotshot and General's Blade. The 3 Timely and the Waylays are just some additional flex pieces. We could play more like Surprise Strikes, things like that. But if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, check out the rest of the channel. It means so much to me. I love all my hot takes on card games and playing bad decks for fun. Hope you all have a great day. Stay safe. And remember, we're not bad at the game. You just gotta shuffle better.